Discover the world's most exclusive escapes, private islands, luxury resorts, and unforgettable retreats. This is JetSet Hideaways, where your next dream destination begins. Hidden deep in the Adirondack Mountains, far beyond the noise, the rush, and the ordinary, on the wild and whispering shores of Upper Saranac Lake, lies a retreat unlike anywhere else in America. A place built not merely for luxury, but for legacy. A sanctuary shaped by nature, history, and an appreciation for craftsmanship that stands the test of time. Welcome to The Point. Once the private great camp of the Rockefeller family, this secluded hideaway carries the spirit of a bygone era, when retreats were made by hand, with logs pulled from the surrounding forest, and evenings were spent beside roaring fires as the lake shimmered in the moonlight. Here, rustic artistry meets refined comfort in the most effortless way. Every room, every pathway, every beam of timber feels intentional, cherished, and quietly magnificent. Time moves differently at the point. It slows, drifts, settles. Fires crackle with a familiar warmth. The scent of pine lingers in the cool morning air. And every moment, whether shared or solitary, feels both intimate and unforgettable. It's not simply a place to stay, it's a place to feel, to reconnect, to breathe again. In a world that seems designed just for you, arriving here feels like stepping into a bygone era. An age when life was simpler, quieter, defined by wooden canoes sliding gently across calm waters, by wool blankets warming your shoulders on the porch, and by unhurried mornings where the lake seemed to breathe with you. There are no crowds, no noise, no signs pointing you this way or that. Instead, the world grows still. The forest closes in softly around you, and you instantly sense that this place was meant for quiet hearts and curious souls. There are no check-in desks here, no lines, no paperwork, no rush. Just the crunch of pine needles underfoot and the subtle feeling that you've crossed into a more gracious time. Warm smiles greet you with effortless sincerity, and before you even notice the shift, a glass of champagne appears in your hand. Chilled, delicate, and offered with the kind of care that feels both luxurious and comforting. And in that exact moment, there's a sensation, unmistakable, almost childlike, that the entire estate belongs to you alone. The pathways winding through the pines, the grand log lodges perched beside the water, the docks stretching into the glassy lake, the firelight dancing through cabin windows. It all feels like yours. A private world tucked away from everything else, waiting for you to step inside and simply be. The Point isn't a resort, it's a private world, tailor-made for those who crave stillness, craftsmanship, and thoughtful service defined by grace rather than grandeur. The guest rooms, each one unique, are a tribute to Adirondack artistry, a celebration of craftsmanship shaped by hands, history, and the surrounding wilderness. Step inside, and you immediately feel it. The warmth of timber beams hewn by hand, their knots and curves telling stories of storms weathered and seasons past. These aren't manufactured spaces, they're living, breathing works of art, built with intention and reverence for the land. Fireplaces rise from the floor like sculptures, towering hearths built from boulders gathered right here in the forest. Each stone carries the weight of the mountains, and when the fire glows against them, they shimmer in a way that feels both ancient and comforting. Soft leathers wrap gently over chairs worn perfectly over time. Quilts stitched with care add a whisper of color and warmth. Furs drape across beds and armchairs, inviting you to sink into them as the world outside grows still and silent. Every texture is natural. Every detail feels chosen, not placed. And every corner of these rooms seems designed to hold you, to soothe you, to give you permission to slow down. And then, the windows. Wide, clear, impossibly inviting. They frame views that feel almost unreal. The calm ripple of Upper Saranac Lake, mountains rising softly in the distance, sunlight drifting across the water in long golden ribbons. On some mornings, mist curls across the surface like a drifting veil. In the evenings, the lake glows with shades of lavender and deep blue. And at night, the stars reflect so brightly, you could swear the sky has settled onto the water itself. These are not just rooms, they are sanctuaries, crafted with soul, rooted in nature, and offering some of the most peaceful lake views in the entire Northeast. With only 11 rooms across 4 lodges, the Point offers something rare: space, privacy, and the feeling that every detail was placed exactly where it belonged. Days unfold here with an ease that feels almost magical, as if the Point exists in a softer rhythm than the rest of the world. A rhythm you slip into without effort, without thought. Mornings begin gently. You wake to birdsong echoing across the lake, clear bright notes drifting through the cool Adirondack air, mingling with the faint rustle of pine branches swaying in the breeze. It feels like nature's own invitation to rise slowly, peacefully, without urgency. Step outside onto your private deck, and the world meets you in quiet, breathtaking stillness. Mist curls above the water in long silver tendrils, dancing across the lake's surface as if the mountains themselves are exhaling. You cradle a warm cup of coffee between your hands, breathing in its aroma as the chill of morning brushes across your skin. There's no noise, no interruptions, just the soft hum of wilderness waking up around you. And if you choose to stay indoors, the fire awaits, crackling in a stone hearth that seems to glow from within. You wrap yourself in a blanket, the kind that feels like it remembers every guest who's ever held it, and settle into a deep, comfortable chair. As you sit there, the first threads of sunlight creep slowly over the mountains, spilling golden light across the room, turning every surface warm and luminous. For a moment, time feels suspended, held gently in the space between breath and silence. Here, mornings aren't rushed, they're savored. They're moments you feel and remember long after you've left. There's no rush, no schedule, just the gentle rhythm of wilderness and comfort. Then, there's the dining, a world all its own. Meals here are poetry, not merely plated beautifully, but crafted with a level of thoughtfulness that feels almost intimate. Each dish tells a story, of local flavors, seasonal inspirations, and a chef who understands that food can be both nourishment and emotion. Dining at the Point isn't just eating, it's experiencing. Moments stretched out slowly, with conversations that linger like the warmth of the fire beside you. And courses that arrive with the gentle cadence of a well-written verse. And perhaps the most iconic tradition of all is the black tie dinner. A ritual carried proudly from the Rockefeller era, a time when elegance was never hurried, and meals were as much about connection as cuisine. As evening falls, the estate transforms. Candles flicker along the length of an exquisitely set table, their soft glow reflecting against crystal glasses. The clink of silverware, the hush of anticipation, the rustle of formal attire, all wrapped in the warmth of a room built from timber, stone, and old-world charm. It's here that elegance and simplicity meet, not in grand displays, but in quiet refinement. In the feeling of stepping into a moment that matters, a moment meant to be remembered. Black tie at the Point isn't about formality for formality's sake. It's about honoring history, celebrating togetherness, and pausing long enough to savor a meal made with care, in a place where every detail glows beneath candlelight. Other times, meals are served outdoors, beside the water, in front of a roaring fire, or anywhere your mood takes you. Every dish crafted with local ingredients. Every moment layered with warmth, humor, and a sense of community. For those who seek adventure, the Point delivers, but always in its own unhurried way. In summer, glide across crystal waters in a handcrafted canoe, its wooden frame whispering softly against the lake as you move. The water is so clear, so impossibly still, that each paddle stroke sends ripples shimmering like liquid glass. Listen to the loons call at twilight, their voices echoing across the water, haunting and beautiful, a sound that feels stitched into the soul of the Adirondacks. As the sun drops behind the pines, the sky melts into hues of rose, amber, and soft lavender, and the world feels timeless. Or wander deep into the surrounding forest, following miles of private trails where pine needles cushion every step. The air here is different, clean, sharp, alive. You breathe in notes of moss, cedar, and cool mountain shade, each breath waking your senses in a way city life never could. Every turn reveals something new: a sunlit clearing, a rushing creek, a silent stand of ancient trees that seem to watch over you as you pass. And then, winter arrives, and everything changes. The world transforms into a quiet, enchanted dreamscape. Snow blankets the trees in thick, delicate layers, softening every sound until the entire forest feels wrapped in stillness. The lake freezes into a shimmering sheet of silver and blue, catching the sunlight like a field of diamonds. Smoke curls from lodge chimneys, and the great camps take on a feeling straight from a winter storybook. Warm fires glowing through frost-touched windows, wool blankets draped over armchairs, and the promise of hot cocoa waiting just inside the door. It's a world of magic, whether you're gliding across the water in summer or crunching through freshly fallen snow in winter. The Point doesn't just offer 4 seasons, it offers 4 entirely different worlds, each one unforgettable. The Point's history is woven into every log, every stone, every trail, not as decoration, but as a living reminder of the legacy that shaped this extraordinary place. You feel it the moment you arrive. The way the timber walls seem to hold stories in their grain. The way each stone in the fireplace looks intentionally placed by hands that understood both craft and permanence. The way the pathways wind naturally through the forest, as if they've always been there, guiding guests for over a century. This is not a place built for show. No glittering chandeliers, no towering lobbies, no flash. Instead, it's a place built for living. For gathering, resting, laughing, exploring, for sinking into nature without ever stepping away from comfort. Great Camp architecture celebrates the wild, not by taming it, but by harmonizing with it. The buildings seem to rise organically from the land, their wooden beams and stone foundations echoing the textures of the surrounding forest. Indoors, comfort comes in its most thoughtful form. Fires that glow long before you feel the chill, warm lighting that softens the edges of the evening. Handcrafted furniture designed to be used, not admired from a distance. Nothing here is extravagant, yet everything is exceptional. The elegance lies in intention, not opulence. In authenticity, not artifice. And in the quiet understanding that true luxury is feeling completely at ease in your surroundings. At the Point, history isn't displayed, it's lived, and you feel yourself becoming part of it with every moment spent here. And despite the deep sense of history, the experience feels effortless, as though the staff anticipate needs before they're spoken, and welcome you not as guests, but as part of a lingering tradition. The lake is the soul of the Point. It shapes everything: the mood, the rhythm, the quiet magic that lingers in the air. Still, serene, endlessly inviting. It's a presence that feels both calming and alive. Here, mornings are soft, the kind of softness that wraps around you like a whisper. The water lies perfectly still, a mirror reflecting mist, mountains, and whatever gentle dreams you woke up with. Birdsong drifts across the surface, and every sound seems to land with a delicate hush. By afternoon, the lake begins to glow. Sunlight scatters across the water in bright, shifting patterns, turning the entire surface into a field of shimmering light. Take the classic mahogany boat for a champagne cruise. Share laughter as the sun dips behind the mountains. Or simply drift and let the quiet soak in. As night approaches, the Point becomes something extraordinary. A world transformed by firelight, stillness, and the quiet magic of the Adirondacks. Lanterns begin to glow along the pathways, casting warm pools of light that dance gently across the forest floor. They flicker with a soft golden shimmer, guiding you through the trees as if the entire estate is preparing for an evening of quiet enchantment. Inside the lodges, fires roar in stone hearths, their flames crackling with a comforting rhythm. The scent of wood smoke fills the air, earthy, familiar, irresistible, drawing you closer to the warmth like an old friend. Shadows move across timber walls, creating a cozy cocoon where conversation deepens and time feels wonderfully suspended. And then, above it all, the sky reveals its masterpiece. In the Adirondack darkness, untouched by city lights, the stars emerge with a brilliance that feels almost unreal. Sharp, clear, infinite. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a luminous river, and constellations come into focus with perfect clarity. You stand there, wrapped in the cool night air, and for a moment, the world feels both vast and intimate, as if the universe has drawn a little closer just for you. At the point, nighttime isn't simply the end of the day, it's an experience, quiet, radiant, and unforgettable. Evenings might mean a lakeside bonfire, a slow dinner stretching late into the night, or simply curling up with a blanket, listening to the gentle crackle of wood and the soft hush of the forest. What makes the point truly unforgettable isn't just its beauty, or its impeccable service, or even its remarkable connection to legacy. It's the feeling. A feeling that settles over you slowly, gently, like the warmth of a fire you didn't realize you needed. A feeling that, for a moment, you're living in a world crafted entirely around peace, joy, and genuine connection. It's waking up and realizing there is nothing you must do. It's the laughter shared over a candlelit dinner, the quiet conversations by the lakeshore, the stillness that seems to reach into your soul and smooth out every edge of everyday life. It's the way the staff remembers your name, your preferences, your stories, not because they have to, but because they truly care. It's the sense that time here stretches, softens, and holds space for you to simply be. And in that rare, precious stillness, you rediscover parts of yourself that modern life so often pulls away. That's what lingers long after you leave. Not just the scenery, not just the luxury, but that unmistakable feeling that you stepped into a world designed with heart, intention, and a quiet kind of magic. It's a place that stays with you, in the still mornings, in the quiet evenings, and long after you've returned home. So whether you're seeking a romantic escape, a journey into history, or simply a moment to breathe deeply in nature, the point welcomes you, timeless, warm, and endlessly inviting. This is JetSet Hideaways. Where to next?